Hi everyone, welcome to my kitchen. In today's recipe, I'm going to show you how to make Dal Pakwan Chaat. Okay, Dal Pakwan is a very classic Sindhi breakfast dish where pakwans are essentially crisp puris and the dal is made out of chana dal and then topped with it and had for breakfast. But I'm going to make mini pakwans and then top it with some dal, which is made the Sindhi way, and also make it like a chaat by adding in some chopped onions, save, and some pomegranates and chutneys. So without wasting any time, let me show you how you can make this delicious Dal Pakwan Chaat for your Diwali and festival parties. So the first step is I'm going to be making these pakwans, which are the crisp puris. Typically it's made out of maida, some people make it with whole wheat, but today I'm going to be making it a combination of multigrain flours. So I have here a combination of wheat flour, jowar, ragi and bajra, all of them mixed together, and that's how typically I sort of keep flours at home. So I have a mixture of these flours. I'm just going to go ahead and add it into my MasterChef jar. This jar is, excellent for kneading atta when you want to make it in large quantities, especially when you're making festivals. You want to make like large portions of puris. Then, mixing by hand takes a lot of time. Here, it just gets done in like 30 seconds. So I'm also going to add in some maida. Maida, what it does is brings in a lot of flakiness to the dough that is the pakwans, and it tastes really nice. Okay, and to this I'm going to add some jeera seeds and ajwain. You can also add kalonji if you want, but jeera and ajwain are a great combination and it gives a nice taste to the pakwan. And some salt and 2 tablespoons of ghee. So ghee is very important, just like you make matris or kadak puris or nimkis, where you add ghee. Ghee adds that flakiness to the dough, and when you make and deep fry it, it gives a nice crispy texture as well. I'm going to cover it, blend it, and then add little water at a time, and then knead to make a nice firm dough, which is like a puri dough. And first combine all the flours and then start adding little water at a time. Notice how quickly the dough came together, and it's just perfect. And what I did use was just add little water at a time and ensure that when the dough comes out, it's nice and firm. If it is not, then you can knead it with a little bit of more flour while it is outside and then make it nice and firm. Okay, so I'm just going to bring it all together onto my surface and then show you how to roll them out into puris. So I'm just going to quickly knead the dough a little bit, and the texture seems to be okay. And what I'm going to do is to divide them into small round balls of the size of the pakwans that you want. Since we're going to be making mini pakwans, I'm just going to make it small size. Otherwise, you can actually make it nice, large, like about 2-inch diameter size as well. But I'm going to be keeping it to 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to roll them into small balls and then roll them out into small discs as well. So now that I've rolled them out, I'm going to press them in between my palms and then roll it into small discs. You don't want it to be really thin. You want them to be nice and firm like a papadi or a matri, and about a few millimeters thick. And once you keep rolling them out, just prick them with a knife so that they don't puff up when you're actually deep frying them. Okay. So I'm just going to keep rolling out all my the pakwan puris and keep them to the side, and then I've kept some oil for preheating. And so once I've finished rolling them into disc, I'm going to deep fry them. So I have some preheated oil, and into them I'm going to slide these puris and deep fry them on medium heat until it becomes golden brown and crisp on both sides. Okay, so it's going to take a while, so don't hurry into turning the heat to high to deep fry them. So deep fry them on medium heat until it becomes nice and crisp. So it took a good 3 to 4 minutes to deep fry these pakwans on medium heat, and notice how beautifully golden brown and crisp they are. And because it's multigrain flour, you will not notice the color change very immediately. It'll take some time, so be very careful. As soon as you notice that it is slightly crisp and firm, take it out, because the puris will continue to cook while it's out of the heat and then crispen. Okay, so I'm just going to drain them out of the oil and put them in paper towels, and then show you how to make the dal and then the chaat finally. Okay, so to make the dal, I have some soaked chana dal here with me, which I've soaked for about 5 to 6 hours. You can even soak it overnight, and I'm going to add cook everything in the pressure cooker at one go and then give a nice ghee ka tadka. Okay, so I'm just going to add in my chana dal and all the spices, ginger and the remaining ingredients, which I'm going to show you right now. So I'm going to add just a little bit of ginger, salt, some amchur powder, turmeric powder, garam masala, some red chili powder, and a dash of sugar. Okay, I always like to add just a little bit of sugar into my dal because it heightens the flavor and it tastes really nice. And that's completely optional if you don't add sugar, but I'm just going to add a little water and then pressure cook the chana dal. Since it's soaked, pressure cook for about 5 to 6 whistles, about 10 to 15 minutes I would say, and then turn off the heat, allow the pressure to release naturally, and then we'll do the tadka for the dal. So notice that the dal is just perfectly cooked, and when you actually press it between your fingers, it should mash like really well, and just give it a taste. Check if the salt and spices are okay, and if you need any more salt, adjust it. And at this stage, I'm just going to go ahead and give the tadka and then show you how to assemble the whole mini pakwan chaat. I'm going to preheat it. So I'm going to add in some ghee and allow it to melt. And once the ghee melts, I'm going to add in the cumin seeds, the slit green chilies, and some curry leaves. I'm also going to add in a pinch of asafoetida, which is hing. So I'm going to give it a stir and allow the flavors of the asafoetida and cumin to get into the ghee, and after that I'm going to pour it into the dal and our dal would be ready. Great. Just pour it in and we'll give it a mix, and the taste was just perfect. I'm just going to give it a mix and stir it well. If you want, you can add some coriander leaves into it, but I'm going to be adding mint chutney and the date chutney and all of that into the chaat, so I'm just going to leave it just like that. So I'll keep this aside and then show you how to assemble and make the mini pakwan chaat. So I have the puris which I've plated them. So whenever you serve a chaat, it is important that you have all the elements ready. So I have some green chutney, date chutney, some chopped onions, pomegranates, save, and also the dal that I have. And when you're ready to serve them for your parties, just put them all together and then serve it in front of your guests, and it'll be like a great way to sort of assemble and bring it together. Okay, and a great experience for them as well. So I'm going to go ahead and spoon these the dal that I made, the hot dal that I made, into each one of these puris. I'm going to drizzle in some chutney, just a dollop of green chutney on the top, and some date tamarind chutney, some finely chopped onions, some pomegranate, and lastly, if you wish, you can top it off with some bhujia or some save. I love bhujia because it adds in that little extra spice into the chaat, and it tastes really nice. Okay, that's it. And don't these look really pretty? And they're extremely simple to make. You can actually make these pakwans. I use multi-millets, and they actually add a lot of taste to the puri. You should give them a try. Add different types of millets like ragi, jowar, bajra, mix them all together, and you'll notice the taste of the puris are also really different and compared to the traditional puris that you would typically make. And keep all the elements ready. You can prep them all the previous day. In fact, you can make the dal also the previous day if you're having the party the next day, and just have to warm it up and serve it as a hot chaat, and it tastes absolutely delicious. Do give this recipe a try this festive season, or for Diwali, or even for a New Year party, or any time you have a party at home with your friends. And let me know how you like this recipe. Would love to hear your feedback in the comments below. So until then, until next time, happy cooking and healthy eating.